Okay. So for the 2021-2022 NFL season, I believe that the MVP should be. Okay, guys, welcome to On the Fence
So
podcast. This is our first episode. My name is Ryan. His
I'm
name
Jarvis.
is Jarvis, and below me we have
Douglas.
Yeah, so this is a sports podcast. We are going to start off talking only about football. This is what this podcast is going to be. We have the Super Bowl on Sunday. I think this is going out on Friday, maybe Saturday. But yeah, we're going to be talking about the Super Bowl on Sunday, making some predictions, talking about NFL honors, which is going on right now, as well as giving some draft talk. I don't know if we're going to talk about the draft today. Probably not. But in the next podcast, going forward, probably going to do a mock. Just talk about the draft a lot. So yeah, do you guys want to say anything before we get into our first topic?
Yeah, it's gonna be super exciting, and I know that Ryan has some terrible opinions to talk about on this podcast, and we're gonna get into it here, and I'm gonna make him look like a fool. I know Douglas has my back. We're pretty like-minded, and we're excited to get into
Stephen
this.
A. Okay, Stephen A.
I'm very excited also. It's going to be a lot of fun, and let's get right into it.
Okay, so do you want to just start off with the Super Bowl? I feel like that's the main topic.
Yeah.
That's most likely why you clicked on the Super Bowl or clicked on this video. You're not clicking on the Super Bowl. But yeah, so we have the Cincinnati Bengals, the underdogs, what were they last season? Like five? Did they have 5 wins or 4 wins?
I think 4 wins.
They had
Bengals
4 wins last year.
I believe they went 4-12 last year.
Yeah.
They went 4-12 last year, and they made it to the Super Bowl. And then, of course, the Rams, who acquired Matthew Stafford in the offseason, OBJ, Von Miller midseason, made a lot of moves. Sean McVay against Zach Taylor, 2 really good coaches. Zach Taylor may win Coach of the Year. We'll see. And yeah, also the Rams are home in SoFi Stadium. They don't really have that many fans, so it's not even like it's gonna affect the Super Bowl that much. But yeah, so do you guys want to give your initial just thoughts or just
Quick clarification. Bengals did go 4-11-1 in
4-11-1. Who did they tie?
4-11-1. They did tie a game.
But do we know?
We don't need to get into that.
Yeah, we can ignore that. They're in the Super Bowl now, so honestly, I don't think it matters. In the tie, I hope we get Jamar Chase. So
I just think it's incredible how the Bengals continuously win as the underdogs, and every game against the Raiders, the Titans, and even the Chiefs. I've counted them out every single game. I had Derek Carr in the wild card round. I had the Titans trumping them in the divisional round, and I had the Chiefs murdering them last round, and I've been proven wrong every time. So that gives me hope for a good game. I bet you can guess where I'm going with my winner pick following my trend, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, and Joe Burrow just proven this playoffs to be so special and under pressure. He's been so good and so cool and calm and collected in the pocket. And for a second-year player to be that good, it's really been impressive to see. And I think he'll keep it up against the Rams.
Second-year player coming off a torn ACL. Yeah, and that was like in week 5 or week 4 last year, super early. So it's like almost like the beginning of the year was like part of his rookie season. That doesn't really make the most sense, but like he didn't complete a full season.
So, he was also the worst deep passer in the league last year. I don't think he completed like a single pass above like 30 yards in his rookie season. And now he's one of the best deep passers in the league. So it's an incredible transition that we've seen from Joe Burrow.
And I think that's thanks to Jamar Chase, who is amazing.
Yeah, I know I was beating the drum for Penei Sewell back in the draft, but they proved me wrong. So.
And do you remember who had Rashawn Slater as the offensive tackle 1? Oh yeah, I think that was me.
I don't recall that, so there's no way to fact check it.
Okay, Douglas, you got to back me up here.
Okay, yes, Ryan is
right. Rashawn Slater, offensive tackle 1.
He did have Rashawn Slater, offensive tackle 1.
No, I really think he had Christian Darrisaw, if I remember correctly.
Christian Darrisaw hasn't been horrible, but he definitely was not on my offense.
I'm pretty sure it was Christian Darrisaw. We'll check the receipts next time, and I guarantee it was Christian Darrisaw, actually. So, don't believe what he says right now, but it was Christian Darrisaw, and that was a terrible take.
You got to believe me. Okay. So, do we want to get into our key matchups? Do one of you guys want to start?
Yeah. How about Douglas? You kick it off here.
Yeah. So my first key matchup for this Super Bowl is Joe Burrow versus Matt Stafford. They're both 2 first-time quarterbacks in Super Bowl, first time in this under this stage, and I want to see who can react better to the pressure. And Burrow, as I said, has been great all postseason, but just different in Super Bowl with millions of people watching. It's the biggest game of the year. And Stafford has been around for over a decade. He's not really played that many big games with the Lions, but he has a lot more experience in the NFL in general. So I I really want to see who's going to be able to take on the pressure for the first time and really use it to enhance their performance and not let it make them worse or scared.
The vet versus the young buck, of course.
Yes.
Obviously Stafford, though, like you said, doesn't really have much experience
No.
in the playoffs, but obviously he's played probably over 100 regular season games. Definitely over 100.
Definitely over 100. He's played
Probably
for,
close to 200.
what, 12 years, 13 years now?
Oh no, so definitely over 200.
Yeah.
Probably like 220, I would say. I don't know.
A lot of games.
A lot of
Yeah,
games.
I mean, it's important to note though, Stafford does have the experience, tremendous experience over Burrow, and everyone's riding the Burrow wagon lately after his wins, and he's so cool and he looks so good, and he does.
He does. Like,
and
you can't deny it.
But it's important to note, like, he is not a top 5 quarterback in the league still. He is on the same level as Stafford. He is. They play. Yeah. They throw. Stafford has a better arm than Burrow, and Burrow's moxie is something Stafford doesn't have. I think we've been waiting for this Stafford moment in the playoffs, and we just haven't gotten it yet. We saw him down the stretch at the end of the season, throwing some terrible interceptions, and he's taking care of the football in the playoffs. So, I think that what Stafford will see will greatly influence the game. I expect Burrow to be under duress, and frankly, also not take care of the football too well, because he also has had turnover problems in the regular season. Like, people forget about that.
And also talking about experience, the Rams were just in Super Bowl a few years ago. A lot of the guys who are on that team are still around in LA. They know what it's like to play in the biggest game and to play for Super Bowl.
You also have Super Bowl MVP Von Miller
exactly.
from the Broncos. He's been there before. He's taken over the big game before. So
yes, so a lot of a veteran leadership in that
veteran versus young team kind of represents like this quarterback matchup. Like the Rams are a really veteran team, and or veteran leaders. They have some young guys, but veteran leaders, and the Bengals are led by those young guys: Burrow, Chase, and you got Jesse Bates on the defense and Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah,
this could be the Rams' last shot in their Super Bowl window. The team is pretty old. They are not in the best situation with the cap. I think they're definitely in the negative with the amount of veterans that they've signed and or traded for in Von Miller and OBJ. So they're towards the end of their reign. Obviously, they didn't win the Super Bowl a few years ago, but they're in the Super Bowl again with an actually decent. I mean, Goff is like not horrible, but at the same time, Matthew Stafford is like not much better.
Goff under Sean McVay was very different than Goff under in Detroit right now. So
in Campbell,
he was much better than he was this past season in LA.
But Ryan, going back to what you were saying, I don't think the Rams Super Bowl window's open. As long as you have McVay there, as long as you have Stafford's going to be here. He's going to be in the league for a few more years. And don't forget about Aaron Donald. Ramsey's under contract. You have Cooper Kupp, who's just extended. So you're going to be a perennial contender, at least making the wild card round for the next 3 years, in my opinion.
Yeah, and also
you have the Seahawks struggling.
You're in a stacked division. I'm
not a fan of Trey Lance. You have the Seahawks struggling. Kyler Murray, we'll see. Cliff Kingsbury, Cardinals faded down the stretch. I think this is the Rams division for the next few years.
Yeah, and also the Rams have really shown over the past few years that they know how to use their picks well, whether it's in the draft or taking guys.
What picks? They just trade them for great players.
Or trading them away for good value veterans who are going to contribute right away. So they know they're in a win now mode, and they've continued to be in that win now mode for the past 4 or 5 years. So they continue to use the same ideas concepts they've been using the past bunch of years. I think they'll stay contenders, continue to compete for a while.
Sure. Okay. Should we move on to the next? Should we just go around, each do one, and then we'll do our second one?
Yeah.
All right, Ryan, you want to go next?
I want to do a little My Guys segment, and I'm going to list a few guys that I think are going to have a great day on Sunday. And, I guess Ryan and Douglas will let you know what they think. I'll start with the obvious, Cooper Kupp. He's a my guy. I've liked him the past 2 years. I draft him in fantasy every year. He's my guy. But, we all know he's had a great season, and he's going to continue that on Sunday. He's got to end the season the way he started it, just absolutely going off. Cooper Kupp's going to ride the slot, and I don't know who's going to guard him. Eli Apple doesn't really play the slot. He's kind of, he's all over the place. He talks a lot, but he's not great. So they're not going to put Jesse Bates on him. And I just think Cooper Kupp, he's bound to get a lot of targets. The Bengals, their strengths in the cornerback position are on the outside with some free agent signings they made.
It'll be really good.
I expect the Cooper Kupp to get the ball often. Don't have a lot of trust in Akers recently. They've been stopping the run decently in the playoffs. Expect Cooper Kupp to get the ball early, often.
I completely agree. I think Cooper Kupp's gonna have a monster game. I think he's obviously been incredible all year. He's just been extremely productive. One of the best seasons in recent history for a wide receiver. So if you keep it up, it'll be a big boost for the Rams.
He's been so consistent. It's almost a guarantee that he's going to have at least 5 receptions for at least 70 yards.
And the thing is that, yeah, you can game plan for Cooper Kupp, but you can't game plan for Sean McVay scheming him open. And that's what they've done every game this season. Cooper Kupp's had a great week the week before. We got to find a way to stop him, and no team has been able to do so. Why now? Why will they be able to stop him now? They won't.
It's a great point.
All right, so the next my guy is Tyler Boyd. And for similar reasons, I think this is a slot fest on Sunday, if you will. We got Jalen Ramsey, Jamar Chase matchup. Expect a lot of contested balls going either way. I think you'll get wins on each side, but Tyler Boyd will be able to hold it down in the slot. We saw him have a tremendous week last week against the Chiefs, finding, I think it was 2 touchdowns he scored. So, Tyler Boyd's been involved, and I think having success against a team like the Chiefs with Tyler Boyd will motivate Zach Taylor to go, I think we need to use this guy to win the game. And if Chase is getting locked down, Higgins is getting jammed at the line, we can use Tyler Boyd to get some separation one-on-one in the slot. And, he's going to pick up some key first downs for us.
For sure.
Yes, because people forget that Jamar Chase has been amazing, gotten a lot of the hype, deservedly so. But the Bengals have such a deep receiver room. Like T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd are legit receivers too.
DJ Uzomah at tight end.
Good players. That
hopefully he's good to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he'll play. It's a Super Bowl.
I'm a little alarmed that Ryan agreed with both my takes. But we'll have to see how they age. So.
Actually, no, I agree with your takes. I like them. Okay. So sort of adding on to what Douglas is saying, I'll go on to my key matchup, or one of my 2 key matchups. And this is the obvious one. Not the David versus Goliath. We have Jalen Ramsey versus Jamar Chase. Obviously, Jalen Ramsey always talks, saying he's the best corner of all time. Stuff of that nature, even though he isn't. Obviously, Darrelle Revis is. I think we can all agree on that. By far, Revis Island, best corner of all time. We obviously have the veteran Jalen Ramsey. I don't know if I'd call him the best corner in the league. I feel like Jair has taken the crown from him, but he's a top 3 corner in the league, undoubtedly.
I think you mean Jair Alexander, just for the people who don't really understand that name, because he said it completely wrong, but go on.
Okay. So we have him against Jamar Chase, the rookie out of LSU. Obviously, the connection, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, LSU, won a natty together, and they're on the same team together, 6 overall pick in the draft. He's had one of, if not the best rookie seasons as a receiver, and Joe Burrow probably just won comeback player of the year. That connection against the best cornerback in the league, it's going to be big. I think whoever wins the matchup could potentially win the game. So for example, if Jamar Chase goes off, I think there's a good chance the Bengals are winning the game. But if Jalen Ramsey completely locks up Jamar Chase, I feel like it's pretty much wraps for the Bengals, as he's their number 1 target.
I just checked on Twitter. Joe Burrow did win comeback player of the year.
Joe Burrow did win comeback player of the year.
3 minutes ago.
Also, one more thing in the argument. Jalen Ramsey last week, he did guard Mike Evans pretty much the entirety of the game. Oh, no, not last week. 2 games ago. That was in the divisional round, right? I think, yeah. And I would say he didn't do the best job. He was giving them a solid cushion. Mike Evans had a very solid game. And I would say that they're probably around the same level, maybe give Jamar Chase the edge. Obviously, they're very different receivers, Mike Evans being the bigger receiver. It's still a deep threat in Jamar, while Jamar Chase is as well. But I do feel like Jamar Chase, honestly, that's who I think is going to end up winning the matchup. And yeah, I don't know what you guys.
I think that everyone's talking about this matchup in terms of polar opposites. Like Chase is going to win or Ramsey's going to win. And it's going to be the key few plays that are made in this game in big moments that decide who wins the matchup, because it's going to be a back and forth all night. And I don't think Jamar Chase completely cooks Ramsey the whole night, or Ramsey completely locks down Jamar Chase. Chase is going to win a few times. He'll probably get a few deep balls, but I'm also expecting a lot of incomplete targets towards him. Whether that's a result of the pass rush or whether that's a result of Jalen Ramsey getting in his face. Last time we saw Jamar Chase in a big game, he owned AJ Terrell. He made him his child. And so I don't think we'll see that dominance again, but I do think we can expect a few big plays out of him.
Yeah, I completely agree again. Because like in these kind of battles where it's top receiver, top corner, it's often like physical, like close matchups. It's not like one person's like dominating the whole game. It's back and forth, or some plays are made by Jamar Chase that are like amazing. Same thing, Jalen Ramsey can make great pass breakups and interceptions. Maybe, who knows? But I agree it's going to be a really back and forth, tight, physical battle. I'm excited to watch and see how both of them handle it.
And one more thing to add is that Ramsey this season hasn't always shadowed the number one receiver in the other team. I think for a lot of the time this season, he's just stuck to his side, patted down one side of the field. But I saw on Twitter, I could be wrong, that they're planning on him having shadow Chase this week in the Super Bowl, and I think that's the most likely scenario, but it's not a for sure thing.
Yeah, and also like the Rams cornerback too, Darius Williams is pretty solid.
He's legit.
He's a very good corner also.
He's not in the slot, right? He's a boundary corner.
Yeah, I believe he's a boundary corner.
So it's not like if Jamar Chase isn't covered by Ramsey, he's going to be open the whole game. No, he's not. They have other really good corners, and they have Eric Weddle as a veteran leader. Although he might not be the same player he used to be. Just came out.
Nick Scott has been playing like amazing. Like he's been an X factor for them.
I think Raheem Morris deserves all this praise. Raheem Morris is he's my guy, as I said before. I love Raheem Morris. I
gotta give some credit to the players, though. I mean, Raheem Morris is a great.
Of course, he's done a stellar job putting this defense in position to win. Developing young talent. He took over a Brandon Staley unit, and I think maybe they weren't as good statistically during the season, but in the playoffs they stepped up big. They've been huge. They've been locked down during the playoffs.
Yeah.
And Raheem Morris, he was the interim head coach for the Falcons. I believe he coached the Buccaneers as their head coach about a decade ago. This guy deserves a shot, and I think he'll get one because he's just a stud in the next one. Yeah. So
I feel like I had one more thing to add, but now I'm not remembering. Yeah. Do you want to move on to our next? Our second round of key matchups.
So I'll go next. So one thing that I'm really looking forward to watching is the head coaching matchup. Zach Taylor, before he's a head coach of the Bengals, was a quarterback coach for the Rams under Sean McVay. So they're running similar kind of offenses, similar ideas behind both teams. So I want to see who's gonna step up, the master, the apprentice. The one who's gotten all the fanfare, and McVay, one of the best coaches of a generation, or Zach Taylor is really showing up this year as to lead a team Super Bowl. So I want to see how does that work out, and who comes out on top, the master or the apprentice.
Yeah, I mean, I like the veteran coaching staff here. I have to roll with Sean McVay, and I think that's because he's been in this big game before. Zach Taylor, he's done a tremendous job this year. I think he deserves Coach of the Year. He's probably going to win Coach of the Year. Well, I guess we'll update you on that as the night continues. But Zach Taylor, I don't think his team is winning because of him or in spite of him. I think he's just done a solid job. While Sean McVay's proven every year to elevate his guys. We've seen mic'd up moments with him and Van Jefferson chirping each other, saying how much they love each other. Oh, they're going to have dinner, picnic, Thanksgiving, barbecues. I don't know. The players love Sean McVay, and Sean McVay loves his players. He made the mistake a few years ago against the Patriots, and I think he'll learn from that.
Even though Zach Taylor is 2 years older than Sean McVay, but obviously Sean McVay was
that's crazy.
That's crazy. A teenager or something, but
that is absolutely insane. Also, the fact that he went from a quarterback coach straight to head coach is pretty crazy. Also, he's being this.
Yeah, and Matt LaFleur being the O coordinator that last year.
Yeah, I mean, what a staff that Sean McVay had on his team.
All right, Jarvis, do you want to give your next my guy? Or
no, here is my next storyline, and it's not one that everyone's going to be thinking about, but We got automatic Evan McPherson, automatic, if you will. Look at me. And then we have Matt Gay. And, Evan McPherson has totally been an absolute animal this whole season, except for that one game against the Packers. We don't need to talk about that. But, we've seen his moxie and his belief in himself to say, we're going to the AFC Championship. We're going to the Super Bowl as he nails game-winning kicks. And on the other hand, we've seen Matt Gay been a solid NFL kicker, but he's also missed a kick in each of the last 2 games. And in the playoffs, that's not acceptable. And it's not like a 60-yard kick. These are 55 and below. And Matt Gay needs to be more consistent. And that's the reason they let go of him in Tampa. He's been pretty good this year, but he needs to be perfect in the Super Bowl. There's no room for missed field goals. There's no room for that because McPherson is most likely going to make it on his end. So if the game comes down to a few points, Matt Gay needs to make his field goals.
Field goal kickers win ball games. What has it been? It's been like, I think 3 out of 4 of the divisional round games were like a game-winning field goal.
There's been an obscene amount of game-winning.
Or in the playoffs, like I feel like almost half of them, or if not more than half of them, have been game-winning kicks. And you need the guy who's going to make those kicks. It's that simple.
Totally. Everyone talks about there's offense and defense, also the third phase of the games, where it matters a lot to make your kicks, have good punts, get good field position. It really matters. It can change the tide of games, especially games this important. And that are going to be.
We saw the Packers lose an entire playoff game because of special teams failures. Exactly. So don't let it be you, Rams. Don't let it be you.
We saw the Jets lose 2020 week 1 because of Kyer Vedvik.
He's still on my hit list, so I will never want to see him in person. Otherwise, he should watch out.
Okay, Kyer Vedvik, if you're watching this, I actually feel bad.
Not an official threat. And same for Matt Amendola. Don't come back. He's
on the practice squad, so we're Jets fans, by the way.
Chris the kicker. Not gonna say his last name.
We all know who it is.
Don't come and see me because don't come and see me. I don't want to see you.
The Jets have to decide. The Jets just have to sign destroying, honestly.
But this is not about the Jets.
Oh yeah, this is about the whole NFL. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to my final key matchup. I feel like this is the biggest one, as it's a big concern for the Bengals. This is the David versus the Goliath. The Rams defensive line versus the Bengals offensive line. Obviously, the Rams have one of, if not the best players in the NFL on their defensive line, a total game wrecker, a quarterback getter, a run stopper in Aaron Donald. Probably he's not winning defensive player of the year, but honestly, there's some stats that show that he should. TJ Watt's going to win it this year.
But he'd be a fine choice every year.
Exactly.
Literally every year. He's so consistent. He's guaranteed to ruin the game.
First ballot Hall of Famer.
For a little bit. And then obviously
one of the best players of all time on defense.
For sure. I mean, first ballot Hall of Famer, like you just said, Ryan. But I don't know which one of you guys said it before, but also Von Miller, Super Bowl MVP. He rightfully won Super Bowl MVP in, I don't know when it was, but for the Broncos.
2015, I think.
When he ruined the game, in 2015, when he ruined the game for Cam Newton. They have 2 great guys, and they also have the likes of Leonard Floyd. They have a great coverage that will make Joe Burrow have to be in the pocket for more and have less time to throw the football.
Let's also put this into perspective here. The Titans recorded 9 sacks against the Bengals in the divisional round.
And they don't have Aaron Donald.
They have Bud Dupree. They have Jeffrey Simmons. Neither of them are Aaron Donald and Von Miller. Neither of them.
Yeah.
But
so I expect the Rams to send 4, send 5, but no more, because they're going to be getting an obscene amount of pressure with 4 men all night. And the Bengals O-line, it's not even like they've been all right. They've been a liability for this team.
I don't know about that. That's where I disagree with you. Last year, I think they were a complete liability. They were horrible. They were the reason why they only won 4 games. They were the reason why Joe Burrow got injured, because they had simply the worst offensive line in the league. This year, they definitely don't even have an average offensive line. I would say probably slightly below average. One that I wouldn't say is a Super Bowl winning offensive line. But Joe Burrow last week and in the regular season, I wouldn't say against the Titans because he did get sacked 9 times, has been an improviser. He has the ability to get out of the pocket. And it's almost when he gets out of the pocket, he's a better quarterback. Obviously, you'd prefer to have the best offensive line on the league, have Trent Williams, have Quentin Nelson, have all Pro Bowl offensive linemen. But Joe Burrow does have the ability to get out of the pocket and make great throws. And I honestly feel like he'll be completely fine going against Aaron Donald and Von Miller. Even though it's Aaron Donald and Von
Miller.
Back to
last year. Last year, Mahomes could do nothing the whole game because he was under pressure and under duress the entire time. One of the best I think
He's
most
also a
people
great
agree,
improviser,
the
but
most talented
sometimes he
quarterback
can't
in the
overcome it.
league.
But also, like maybe Burrow does overcome it. But to say that it hasn't been a liability is wrong because they've won in spite of their offensive line, not because of them. The offensive line hasn't helped them at all. They've been a hindrance to their winning. They've just done it anyways because they have Joe Burrow, right? He's been amazing. Yeah, Joe Shiesty. But it's only this is going to be the most vulnerable we see this offensive line maybe ever because this will be the toughest matchup they faced all year. And it's interesting to see what they do. And I don't think it'll be pretty. I think we see shades of last year where Mahomes had no time the entire game and they lost.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
also,
can't lie, I'm pretty concerned about it also.
yeah, for sure. But one more thing I want to add, I do feel like the 2 weeks preparation for the Super Bowl, I feel like that helps the offensive line because they're able to really dive into and study every single pass rush.
Yes, but also helps Aaron Donald, who can study all of their interior linemen's like liabilities and strengths.
I do feel like it's more of an advantage for the offensive side of the ball because you can see and determine every player's pass rush move.
You can't scheme mano y mano though. You can't scheme blocking Aaron Donald mano y mano because it's Aaron Donald.
But you can
get a man one-on-one.
Almost every single NFL lineman, like in the offseason when they're training, watches Aaron Donald film to see like how they can try and stop him.
What you might see is
they're going to double team him every time.
What you might see is design quick passes, short throws, screens, little bubbles, slants to get the ball out of his hands quickly. But you're not going to see a sustained ability to keep them in front of the defense and the offense, in front of the offense.
I mean, I guess we'll see. The Super Bowl's in whenever. Honestly, you're probably watching
Sunday.
Super Bowl. Sunday. No, I'm saying to the viewers because it's not coming out 10 minutes after.
It's on Sunday for them still.
Yes.
Yeah, but it may have already passed and they're just watching to see, or maybe it's us watching to see our predictions and then it's me bragging about being right because like I'm gonna be right, especially with my Super Bowl prediction. I don't know. Do we know each other's Super Bowl predictions? I don't think so.
We'll find out at the end.
We'll find out at the end. So yeah, I think that's. Do we want to talk? I think we saved that for the end. Should we go on to the on the fence segment of the episode? Yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously the podcast name is On the Fence. You clicked on the video, and read the channel name. So for our basically main segment, every podcast, we're going to be doing the On the Fence segment where basically one of us brings up a topic and gives our opinions, which side of the fence we're on. And yeah, should we get right into it or do you guys want to give a little bit more explanation?
Let's get right into it.
Okay. I guess I'll start with reading our first topic. Overall game trend. What do you guys think? Do you think the Bengals will be dominating? Do you think the Rams will be dominating? Or do you think it's going to be a pretty even back and forth game?
Yeah. Are you on the Rams side of the fence or are you on the Bengals side of the fence? Or, are you in between? Are you standing on the barbed wire? Douglas, what do you think?
This is a really tough question because I think it's going to be a very close game. But I think that I think I'm going to rock with the Bengals, actually.
I guess this is our predictions. Wait, I guess
we're doing our predictions.
Yeah, let's do our predictions though, because it's end of Super Bowl.
Why not?
It's good.
I'm gonna go with the Bengals. I think that while the Rams would be on paper the more talented team, as Jarvis said earlier, each week the Bengals have been counted out, they've been the underdogs, but they've kept on performing. They've been playing so well, and they've been on the road the past 2 weeks, so they played in hostile environments. I really think that they're prepared for the tough that's going to come with this game. And although I think talent-wise they are a little bit less strong than the Rams, I think that as a team they're going to play very well together. They've played very well the whole playoffs. So I'm rocking with the Bengals.
I guess I'll go next. I honestly thought I was going to be the only one picking the Bengals. I did not think either of you guys didn't go with the Bengals. Honestly, they've been the underdog the whole season, and it kind of pains me to make them the non-underdog. I can't find the word. I don't want to make them the favorite in like a 2v1. But I gotta go with the Bengals. I gotta go with Joe Shiesty. I really think they've been on a roll. They've been the underdog. Like, who's gonna stop them? Like Aaron Donald. I don't care about Aaron Donald. Joe Burrow's getting out of the pocket, hitting Jamar Chase for 75-yard touchdowns. First play of every single drive. Bengals are blowing out the Rams. It's not even going to be close. As a matter of fact, guaranteed 14-point victory by the Bengals.
The fade got himself.
We'll
picking
hold
the
you to it.
Bengals victory. I mean,
Bengals
what a
are-
day it is for me when I have the fade god himself telling me the Bengals are going to win. I've never felt so sure about my decision ever in my life. I have the Rams in this game, and I have the Rams by a lot. And not 75-yard touchdown first play of each drive, but I have a dominant game in the trenches where they're pass rushing Joe Burrow. He struggles to get completions. You got Cooper Kupp in the flat. You got Van Jefferson, OBJ, and the Rams control the tempo, they keep possession, and they score touchdowns. And I think they win comfortably. And
Josh,
that gets us in. And yeah, I think the Rams win comfortably. And I'm alone on this side of the fence. But I think I'll prove to be right.
Josh, see, I agree with you in theory. I can't say anything that you said I disagree with, but
I disagree with everything you said.
I just have a gut feeling that, like, I don't know, I think the Bengals are going to pull it out. I've counted them out before, and I just don't want to get beat by them again. I think they're going to find a way to win. They've been tough until the playoffs, been in tight, close games. They found the way to come out on top.
So yeah, maybe the Bengals are my kryptonite. Maybe I'll count them out again, but I have to go with what my head's telling me. I have to go with the logic, what all the matchups, what all the numbers are saying, so that the Rams should dominate this game. The spread for this game is -4 Rams, right? The Rams are 4 points. They're 4-point favorites. And against the spread, my pick is Rams -4. I'm slamming units on Rams -4 this Sunday. This isn't professional betting advice, but I expect my wallet to be green by the end of the night.
Personally, I think it's going to be a 3-point game either way. I do think the Bengals will win. I think it's going to be a 3-point game, very tight. So I would not make that same bet. But
yeah,
I'm not such a big better. So
I'm going to completely disagree with Jarvis, but Douglas, I totally agree with you. I think I exaggerated a little bit. I was just kind of happy that I just want to go with the Bengals. Yeah. But I do feel like it could definitely go down to an Evan McPherson money Mac field goal, and he's going to make it. If I jinxed it, like, honestly, Bengals fans, I'm so sorry, but he's going to make it. Like, I'm just saying. Also, if you're watching this before the Super Bowl, it's on Super Bowl Sunday, Saturday, Friday, whenever it is, make sure to leave your prediction in the comment section below. Who you think's going to win? Maybe even ends in a tie. I don't know how.
You know why I feel so good about this, though, is because I see no scenario where the Bengals dominate the game. I think it's a close game where the Rams dominate the game. And that's why I'm so confident in my -4 pick here, because I'm not worried about the Rams blowing them out. I'm not worried. So if the Rams get a late touchdown, they're covering. So,
I didn't know that we were a gambling podcast, but
not a gambling podcast. Just showing the game trends, and gotta give my 2 cents.
I think there's a very clear scenario that the Bengals dominate, and that is if Stafford doesn't play well. And I think he's been pretty inconsistent this year. He's had some very bad games where he's just thrown so many picks, and it hasn't been the Matthew Stafford that we've seen on the lines for years. He's been a below average quarterback in some games. At the same time, I feel like he's going to play well, and we can't really bet or just feel like he's going to play badly in the Super Bowl. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's tough to say Stafford might be he was a below average quarterback this year. I mean, this is a guy who I think he had his best season of his entire career. He had 41 touchdowns this season, right? So he's been great. And say Stafford's off, we got McVay. The Rams have McVay, and he'll find a way. He'll find a way.
All right, so I think that's good for Super Bowl discussion. I think now we should move on to NFL honors. We can briefly discuss each award, finishing off with MVP. I have a very controversial take. I've only told Douglas. I haven't told Jarvis my take, but I have a controversial take. We'll end with that. We can start off with the obvious ones, like Offensive Player of the Year, which I feel like all of us are going to agree. It's going to be Jamar Chase. Mac Jones is not winning that.
Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year.
Offensive Rookie of the Year. Oh, my bad. Offensive Player of the Year, though, that's maybe not the easiest one. Who are you guys thinking?
I mean, I think it's I think there are 2 big competitors, and
I think it's 3.
Jonathan Taylor and Cooper Kupp.
3.
And I guess Debo Samuel also.
Oh yeah, Debo.
But also quarterbacks can be in the mix too.
I don't think they give it to quarterbacks though.
Do they?
I think it has to be.
They hardly do. I think it's Cooper Kupp through and through, and I'll tell you why. Jonathan Taylor deserves a ton of credit for the season he put up, but his position is too dependent on another position, which is the
Offensive
O-line.
line.
Cooper Kupp is out here every week doing things himself. Yeah, the ball gets delivered to him, but he has to get open. He has to avoid the defenders. He has to catch the ball himself. So Cooper Kupp for me is the offensive player of the year, undoubtedly.
I'm gonna disagree with you, but slightly. Like I don't disagree with Cooper Kupp winning the award. At the same time, I feel like JT, as the whole NFL, just as as NFL players, I feel like they believe JT's the best player in the league. I know they do that like the top 20 players or ends up being top 100. And I looked at some stat and it was like JT was like the top running back by like so much, like over Cooper Kupp, over all these guys. And
Cooper
I think
Kupp isn't a running back.
Yeah, he's a receiver.
no, I'm not saying running back. I'm just saying like position players.
Yeah.
Who aren't
I think tonight you're going to
running back
see
wide
the
receiver
voters side with me. I think Cooper
I
Kupp.
think it's going to be Kupp.
Personally, I lean Kupp too. Although I would not be mad if Taylor gets it. I think they're both extremely deserving. I think they both
I won't be
had
mad either.
I'm checking my phone
incredible
for it, but it hasn't
seasons.
come out yet.
But I do think Kupp, he's been extra special this year. Just like dominant every single week. He's been dominant and has put on a show in LA, and I think that he deserves this award this year.
Yeah. Also, defensive rookie of the year. That one actually already came out, but I feel like again pretty easy.
That's no need to debate. We all agree it's Micah Parsons, and if you don't, you're delusional. So we don't need to talk about it.
There's no one else who's even close.
And then another pretty much guaranteed award already came out. Comeback player of the year, Joe Burrow. There's really no one else.
Well, Nick Bosa had a fantastic year.
Oh, that's true, but at the same time, it's like they're going to give it to the quarterback rather than the edge rusher.
Yeah,
defensive.
100%.
Yeah, and then we also have defensive player of the year, which I guess T.J. Watt or Aaron Donald are pretty much the only two.
Well, Myles Garrett was definitely in the discussion.
Oh, Myles Garrett also.
Micah
But
Parsons too, I think.
T.J. Watt ran away at the end of the year because he broke the all-time season amount of sacks in the season.
Tied it.
He tied it.
But still, he tied it. Like,
He
should have broken it.
He missed multiple
They caught a
games,
sack
I believe.
back.
I believe
Exactly.
he missed one or two
did.
games this
He
season.
did.
Maybe more. He
Unbelievable.
definitely deserved it. Maybe you could argue that, Aaron Donald's more impactful, Myles Garrett's more impactful for sure. But TJ Watt deserved Defense Player of the Year this year. That's just a matter of
I
fact.
agree. I think last year he deserved it. He's been even better this year. I think that TJ Watt is such an incredible talent and 100% deserves to win the award.
I couldn't agree more with you guys.
Excellent.
I don't feel like Aaron Donald or Myles Garrett really deserve it. If you're tying the all-time sack record, which is it's the stat for edge rushers, like whoever has the most sacks is perceived as the best guy, and that's TJ Watt.
They should give it to Ashton Davis. Psych, I lied.
Ashton Davis is fine, but Ryan hates him, and
he's horrendous.
He's pretty
I'm talking first person. No, Jarvis hates him, but yeah,
he's pretty bad.
Okay, so should we move on to what other words? I guess Coach
MVP.
of the Year. Coach of the Year before MVP.
Zach Taylor.
I feel like it's Zach Taylor or Mike Vrabel. I feel like, and I feel like it's Zach. I'll agree with you, Ryan, on this. I don't like during the Super Bowl, he's taken a 4-11-1 team and brought them to the Super Bowl. Obviously, he's not the only one. Like,
yeah,
they have great players, but
the Titans just bothered me this year too. Like Vrabel did an exceptional job, but they just bothered me. They lost cupcake games to the Jets. They put up a goose in the divisional round of the playoffs. Bengals did, but they also then they would go out and beat the Bills and manhandle them, and
yeah,
they were just a confusing team, and I really couldn't figure out what was the deal with them. So their inconsistency bothered me. Of course, they got the wins, and that's all that mattered. But Zach Taylor, better job.
I agree.
What do you think?
I know
did more with less.
And I know this coach is not going to win the award. I'm not delusional about this.
Are you going to say
Robert
Pete Carroll?
Saleh?
No, but I think that one coach who deserves a ton of credit this year for the job
Brian Flores
is Rich Bisaccia in Vegas.
Love Rich Bisaccia.
He stepped in an extremely tough situation. The coach was fired for racist, misogynistic emails. Henry Ruggs DUI in a horrible situation.
Nate Hobbs.
Nate Hobbs had
Damon Arnett.
Damon Arnett had issues.
Josh Jacobs last year.
He inherited a team that had a lot of off the field issues going on.
Dysfunction.
And a dysfunctional team. And he continued to lead them to the playoffs. as a 7th seed. And I know they didn't win the playoffs. I think
They nearly did though.
I think that the fact that he was able to keep the team moving in the right direction, keep them focused on winning games and playing football, not all the off-field distractions. I think that he deserves so much credit for the job that he's done this year, and really should have gotten more of a look for a permanent head coach in Vegas. But
I totally agree with you, Doug.
But I
I don't,
agree that
again, I
exactly.
don't think he's coach of the year just for the fact that they didn't necessarily go so far. But honestly, he's probably that third guy.
I also think coach of the year is based on regular season performance, not playoff performance.
But it is.
I think
but
it's a
at the
matter.
same time,
I think it's the fact that he only coached half the season.
yeah,
that's why.
Yeah, that's
he really should not be a candidate for the award. He's more of an honorable mention kind of guy.
Yeah, for like, yeah, I agree. I think he did a fantastic job in just keeping the team moving forward this year.
Yeah.
No other awards have come out, and I think it's time for MVP. I feel like I should go last. So yeah, who do you guys think should?
No.
win?
Let's get this atrocity out of the way. Ryan goes first.
It's bad.
Okay.
It's
So
pretty bad.
Okay, so let me start with MVP, most valuable player. The award is typically given to, or it's just considered the best player in the league, whoever is the best player. But honestly, it's the most valuable player. Who's most
The
valuable?
most valuable quarterback.
It's not though. That's
It
the
is
thing.
though. That's
Okay.
the award at this point.
But at the same time,
Because it
doesn't
factors in
have to.
positional value.
It doesn't have to. But at the same time, though,
But it is.
the quarterbacks all like played pretty well, and I feel like Aaron Rodgers would be the one quarterback that you would give it to. But at the same time, like he didn't have that good of a season, in my opinion, at least. Like he had a
It's
great
not
season.
an opinion. When you throw 37 touchdowns and 4 interceptions in one season,
That's a
yeah,
phenomenal
it's a
season.
factual statement. It's not an opinion.
It's
It's
a
not an opinion
phenomenal
when you're the 1 seed in the NFC, you get a first round bye and throw 37
Best team in
touchdowns
the NFL.
to only
lose
4.
lose the first round in the playoffs.
It's only
Doesn't
4
matter.
receptions.
It's
It
not
doesn't
part of the
matter.
award.
He lost
Because
first round in the
MVP
playoffs. It's
It
all about
doesn't
winning Super
matter
Bowls.
It's not
because
part of the
MVP
award,
is
Ryan.
voted on before the playoffs even
It's-
start.
It's a regular season award. It's not a playoff.
It's-
award.
Okay. Can I finish my argument though?
Yes.
Please.
Okay, so I think that so most valuable player. So basically what I feel like if you replace the player with an average player, it's how much worse the team would be. So if you replace Aaron Rodgers with an average quarterback, I still feel like they'd be a playoff team. And they lost first round in the playoffs. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking the playoffs because
We saw Jordan Love step into that team. They lost 2 games. So.
Jordan Love is a below average quarterback. That's
Okay.
just what I'm saying. But I
But he
think
wasn't. Atrocious.
I think if they have an average quarterback, they're making the playoffs.
We've
Or-
seen a division winner Packers step in with like Deshaun Kaiser with other quarterbacks and lose absolutely every single game. So
But Deshaun Kaiser is Deshaun Kaiser. Like he's not in the league anymore. He's in a practice
Okay, wait.
squad.
you're right, but I think you're
Ryan,
making my
I
argument
wanna
for
hear
me.
what
I
you
think
say.
you got to get to the point.
Okay. So for the 2021-2022 NFL season, I believe that the MVP should be Debo Samuel. This isn't funny. I am dead serious right now. I think
And this is why he's the fade god. This is why
Yeah.
he says shit just to be
Let me
different.
finish
Well,
my point though.
Excuse my
Hey,
language.
it-
Because we
it's a
shouldn't even
family
give this
show,
point.
Jarvis.
We shouldn't
It's
even
a
give this
family
point
show.
the light of
What did he
day
say?
because Debo Samuel had a phenomenal season. But why Debo Samuel?
Because
He
he's been-
wouldn't even win Offensive Player of the Year. So
Because
that's
he's
like
been-
We're
the
not Cooper
MVP
Kupp.
backup award.
Yeah.
That's the
Why
MVP
not?
backup award.
You
Because
just
on
said that
defensive
Cooper
player
Kupp
can't.
is for the offensive player of the year. Why not Cup over Debo Samuel?
Because Debo Samuel, you replace him, and the Niners still contend for a playoff spot.
That's totally not true though. Okay, let me get to my point. Debo Samuel is the most valuable player in the league. If you took him out, if the Niners didn't have Debo Samuel, they'd be in third place in the division. He carried their team on
They were
their
third
back.
place in the
They were third place anyways, so it
They
doesn't
were.
matter. They were third place anyways, and your argument's
Okay.
already invalid because I can
No,
tell
but they-
you
okay.
so
I
simply
didn't
why
know they were third
receiver
place.
doesn't matter as much as you're saying. Why a receiver can't win MVP.
He was their
especially
only
one
offensive
who had
weapon.
Debo
He
Samuel.
opened up everything. He opened up the run
You're
game.
right.
He opened up the rest of the receiving game.
You're right.
He was
He was the 49ers' most valuable player.
He was a
Doesn't
battering
mean he was the
ram.
league's most valuable
He
player.
was,
not
though.
arguing-
Because
we're not
the Rams
arguing
went
he
to the
had a
NFC
bad
Championship.
season.
The
So
Rams
what?
went to the MVP award. I'm not saying who is gonna win it. I'm not making that prediction. I'm giving my personal opinion.
I know,
Seeing
and
the
it's a
playoffs.
terrible
See,
opinion.
it's a
Seeing
bad
okay,
opinion.
can I finish
It's an
up?
obscene
Seeing the
opinion
playoffs.
because we saw the Patriots make the playoffs. Who's their best receiver? Jacoby Myers?
But
yeah.
their whole offense is Debo Samuel. That's the thing.
Actually, they have a phenomenal O-line. They have a top 2 tight end
and an excellent
guru
coach.
for a coach.
But who's getting the ball? Who's getting the ball? Play after
Debo,
play.
Ayuk, Elijah Mitchell, Kittle.
Debo's the one. Debo is a battering
He's
ram.
the X.
He can't be
Cooper
tackled.
Kupp's the X. Devontae Adams is the X. I can name every X in the league. Doesn't mean they should win MVP.
Without Debo Samuel, they're below 500. Without Debo Samuel, they're not winning. They're getting blown out.
Just remember, with
round of
Debo
the
Samuel, they barely made the playoffs anyways. They don't come back late against the Rams week 18. The Saints make the playoffs, not the Niners. Just because they went on a playoff run, it doesn't matter. Because even with Debo Samuel, they were a field goal away from missing the playoffs completely.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Ryan. I have to agree with Jarvis in this one.
I mean,
this is
my honest opinion. I think the Niners, if they didn't have Debo,
I'm embarrassed for you.
They'd be a 6-win.
I'm disgusted.
Team. They'd be a 6-win team. When they went on the run, it was Debo Samuel who carried the team. It wasn't Jimmy Garoppolo. It wasn't.
We aren't saying that
their defense was pretty good.
It was great.
But Debo Samuel,
the most important player on that team. Yes, but
I think he's the most net value in NFL this year. I think.
There's just absolutely no chance.
The most amount of wins.
Quarterback is just so much more valuable than a receiver. Even quarterback has so much more value than a receiver, right? Yes or no?
I do believe that.
Yes or no?
It's not.
Yes or no?
It's not best quarterback.
Also,
it's MVP. It's most valuable player.
I know, and you said it yourself.
He's the most valuable player
5
in the
minutes
NFL.
ago. You said it yourself 5 minutes ago. If you remove this player from a team, what happens? If you remove Aaron Rodgers from the Packers, they might not even win the division.
Mediocre.
Can we agree on an average quarterback? Who's an average quarterback in the NFL?
Jared Goff.
Bridgewater?
No, they're all below average.
No.
Average is 16th quarterback in the league. Who's the 16th?
Matt Ryan this year?
He's a little better than
I think Matt Ryan is 16. There's so many good quarterbacks in the league. If you replace him with Matt Ryan,
Kirk Cousins.
Wait, Kirk Cousins.
No, he's above.
Kirk Cousins Kirk Cousins is the top 5 quarterback this year. I'll stand by that.
Which thing is worse?
I'll stand by that.
He had an amazing season.
He threw 30 touchdowns and 7.
I can name 9 quarterbacks better. I can name.
No. I don't know. I think there's 9 quarterbacks better than him in the league. But
I'll name 5 who had a better season.
I think he was the 5th best quarterback.
Fine, I'll name 5 who had a better season. Rodgers, Mahomes, Herbert, Allen, Carr.
Wait, who'd you say? Who's the 5th one?
Derek Carr.
Derek Carr did not have a better season.
Yeah, he did.
Don't give me that.
Yeah, he did.
He did not.
Yeah, he did.
He did not. Kirk is 5.
He did.
Kirk is 5. Kirk is 5. Leave it in the comments section. Stafford had a horrible year. Okay, Douglas. Douglas
was not horrible. Stafford was not horrible.
But Kirk had a better season.
You keep invalidating your arguments by saying these obscenity statements.
Okay, wait.
I've never heard in my life.
Jarvis,
I've never heard them in my life.
Let Douglas give his opinion. Did Kirk or Stafford have a better season?
Stafford.
Thank you. And
if I wasn't the biggest Stafford guy, I would
right now.
I'm a Kirk believer, and
what team has a horrible defense? What team is facing against Aaron Rodgers?
Kirk had a great year.
Against
Kirk. They both had very good seasons. But Stafford was
Kirk had a better year for sure.
You can think that.
Okay, again, leave it in the comment section. Oh, that's another on the fence topic. Kirk or Stafford, who had a better season? It's obviously Kirk.
I think you can have fun on your isolated side of the fence there. And Douglas and we might throw a pool.
I just know the Bengals are
back in LA because we're in the Super Bowl this weekend.
Yeah.
So
it's gonna be.
Yeah, I'm
sorry, but I have to disagree.
Okay, at least I don't have a top 5. The Vikings don't have a top 5 defense in the league. They don't have.
And this is why I said earlier. Why was I so alarmed earlier in the podcast when Ryan was agreeing with me? It's because he says these outrageous statements like this, and all of you get it. Everyone who's watching gets it. It's because Ryan says obscene statements, and so when he agrees with me on my very intellectual, well thought out statements, there's reason to be alarmed because what goes through his head during these topics, I have no idea. So
yeah. I have to agree with that.
Okay, Douglas, you have to agree to me. It's not a cold take that Kirk had a better season than Stafford. It's a fact. It's a fact.
I'm freezing. I'm freezing.
I guarantee you.
I'm not freezing. It's pretty room temperate in my room.
I'm so cold.
It is not a fact. I can guarantee you that.
It's a fact. Kirk had a better. I'm gonna bring up the stats right now.
Yeah, let's do it right now.
Put a poll on Twitter. Let's see what happens.
I will. I'll put a poll on Twitter.
Okay. How do I do this?
I'll pull up PFF grade also.
All right, Kirk Cousins this year. 4,200 passing yards, 32 touchdowns,
4,800 yards. Matt Stafford
No.
at 48.
It's not okay. Okay, they have Dalvin Cook. They run the ball a lot. Okay, let's see
They
touchdowns,
have Justin Jefferson
interceptions.
and Adam Thielen.
But they have Dalvin Cook also. Dalvin Cook is a much better running back than they're a running offense. They have two amazing.
They are.
Okay,
That also
let's see.
gives them that
Let's
also
see.
opens up the play action for him.
Okay.
Makes
Let's
it
see.
easier.
Let's see
That
touchdowns.
makes it
and
easier on the
interceptions.
quarterback.
How many touchdowns did Stafford have?
41.
How many interceptions did Stafford have?
17. He did have a lot of interceptions.
Okay, well, Kirk had 33 and 7 interceptions. So
Okay.
it's a better ratio. Okay, let's bring up PFF grade. Do you want to bring it up?
Wait.
I'm bringing
passer
it up.
What was
Ryan
his
is
passer
pro.
rating?
Ryan is PFF pro, so he can bring it
Ryan,
onto
what was
the-
his passer rating?
You a PFF pro?
Oh, his passer rating?
Yes.
Passer rate? No, I don't. I thought you do. Oh no, I do.
I'm pulling up PFF grades.
No, but you're logged into my account.
Wait, Ryan, what's his passer rating?
His passer rating is, I don't know. I think it's on PFF. Just ask Jarvis.
No, it's not.
I think ask Jarvis.
If you go on Google, it'll tell you.
I don't know where. Oh, okay. Let's see.
It's the last one in that in the 4 columns.
Passer rating. Kirk Cousins passer rating 103.5.
Okay, right around the same. 102.9.
Oh, who has a higher passer rating?
okay.
Kirk Cousins.
It's a
Wait, Ryan,
0.6
let's see
difference.
grades. I actually think Kirk is a better grade than Stafford.
It's a 0.6 difference.
You see that grin on his face? He knows that Kirk had a better grade than Stafford.
I'm pulling it up. It's loading.
Here,
When you look up passer rating, Jarvis, when you look up passer rating, it already says Cousins ranked 6th with 103.5. Oh no, that's passer rating. But in PFF grade, he was 88.34.
That's a
Fourth.
very high grade.
That's top 5.
What top 5 are you smoking
Also,
on?
PFF is
Smoking
so
on
flawed
top
in so many
5.
ways too.
Bro, PFF. Okay, what else can we do? We're not watching every single snap of Kirk Cousins' season. We're not watching every snap of Matthew Stafford's season.
Okay, Kirk Cousins was graded higher than Matt Stafford was this year. But that's also
I
just
mean,
PFF.
what else can I say?
PFF has a lot of bad opinions too.
Listen, I'll admit, it's not a through and through argument, but for Ryan to say it's a hardstone fact is an absolute.
It's a fact. Kirk had a better season than Stafford. It is a fact.
It isn't.
All right. I got the receipts. And
The receipts, Jarvis.
So top 5 was Burrow, Brady, Allen, Herbert, Rodgers, and then back to back Cousins, Stafford at 6 and 7. So.
Yeah, I mean, they as
That's
Jarvis
passer
and I
rating.
both acknowledged, Kirk had a very good season. But we
Wait.
still
Can you
had
tell me
Stafford.
Stafford's PFF grade, Ryan?
85.1.
That's.
But just for markers, Mahomes has scored at an 80.4, ranked 11 behind, tied with Mac Jones.
Yeah, so
I need to
is
stop
not-
calling Jarvis Ryan. That's his nickname, and it's too confusing.
And Jacoby Brissett at 14. Taysom Hill at 17.
Yeah, so PFF is not the end all be all.
It's not the end all be all, but
I
we
think
did
we've
pull it
gotten
up.
out of the formal podcast, and we're sort of just talking now. So do we want to wrap it up with? I don't think we have much.
let's-
I think we've talked about a lot of.
Let's just wrap it up.
Okay, so our final takes: I have Bengals, Jarvis has Rams, and Douglas has Bengals. We'll see what happens. Please leave in the comment section who you think is gonna win the Super Bowl.
Let us know what side of the fence you're on. That's all
Wait,
for
so
this
what are the
week.
3 sides of the fences? Stafford versus Kirk, Super Bowl and MVP, right? Those are the 3.
I think no one's gonna join you.
I think okay. Well, I think Debo. Okay, I'll say this for my life. Debo is the most valuable player this year. He was the most valuable player.
Okay.
If Debo's watching this video, honestly,
Please come back next time if you're watching.
are you talking to Debo or everyone?
Everyone.
We're talking to everyone, but obviously Debo is more important.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm
All right,
joking.
peace.